Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Endless Multiverse, episode number 5, of course, with Chainsaw and Andy. And we're here to discuss
Hey,
a variety of topics. Hello, we're here. Let's take this off. We are here to discuss, we have 4 topics actually today. We actually don't have a lot to discuss. I mean, there's more we could have talked about, but there wasn't really a lot of news per se in
yeah.
terms of like big topics that we're used to covering on the show.
But
We're
that means
going
that
to
we will
be
have more time for Q&A for you guys, so you
Q
guys
and
can
A, Q and
send
A,
us more questions and super chats and derail
all
us,
that.
however. So,
Yes. And we have a goal we're going to try to, and I'll be bringing this up periodically throughout the show. We're going to try to get to 40 likes on this stream. Let's try to get to 40 likes while we're live, guys. And if we get past that, then we'll jump ahead and continue on further than that. But let's do that. But we have a variety of topics, including talking about some Marvel Blade casting. And we have Spider-Man No Way Home. We finally got those release details in terms of what's coming on the Blu-ray and everything. And we also have the final push for the Batman, because we know they're heavily marketing this week with clips and everything. And we also have Superman, Tyler Hoechlin himself, commenting about the continuity of it all, of the Arrowverse. And there's a lot of things, because I see here you pulled up a huge quote, actually 2 quotes in your images.
no, I mean, no, it's the same statement that he gave. The only reason I put it on, like, I had to see that I made it as 2 is because
Mhm.
otherwise it would be a huge chunk to just read, and like even that for me is exhausting.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, are we ready to dive into this?
yeah. So,
Okay. Well, as we have to say, we have to let the man himself say that it's time for us to go, because we can't go without this man saying it first. So, as he says,
All right then, on with the show.
on with the show. Had to let Constantine get his words in there. This is, by the way, this is a surprise for Andy. I got clips of me playing. So, anyways,
yeah, I only know of one other thing that he will show you later, but the rest I'm not scrolling down through the StreamYard options. So, but so here is what's up. Starting off with one of the upcoming MCU films, Blade, is still in development with Mahershala Ali as the titular character, and now we have another cast member, someone that I'm definitely familiar with, Aaron Pierre, who some of you who, if you're big DC fans, he was on Krypton, and the sci-fi series that focused on the early, the Kryptonian society before it blew up and just went away. And but he played Devem on Krypton, and he is now joined the MCU as a undisclosed character. And I'm quoting Deadline. I was saying, while it's unknown who Pierre will be playing, the role itself was one of the most highly coveted parts in Hollywood, since Tariq, who is directing the film, was titled as director last fall. Executives on the project always had their eyes on Lindo and on the other cast member that got announced for his secret role, but insiders added Feige, Tariq, and others took their time finding the right role for this part, meaning dozens of up and coming actors for the role, with Pierre becoming their favorite in recent weeks. So yeah, I don't know. I have never read a Blade comic in my whole life. I've only I saw Blade, original Blade movies, and I saw him of course on Spider-Man animated series. But other than that, I just I don't really know who he could be playing. But did you watch Krypton? Did you watch Krypton when it was on?
I've only seen I think the first 2 episodes of the series. I don't remember seeing him. He might have been there. I have no idea when he shows up in the show. But I mean, it's interesting that he's jumping from DC to Marvel. In terms of his character, I'm not sure what he could be playing, because I'm not too familiar with the Blade stuff outside of, like, I know Blade has fought Dracula, which that's been a theory for a while that Dracula was going to be in this movie, but I don't know if the MCU is ready for Dracula exactly. I could be wrong, but I just feel like they're not ready for that yet. But they're building up to it with
Yeah,
Werewolf by Night going to have a Werewolf by Night's going to have a Disney Plus Halloween special next year, and at some point we're going to get Ghost Rider and everything, and of course Blade. We already have Mahershala Ali as Blade, so I'm assuming he's playing a villain. That's my theory. I don't know, because they really push this out there in terms of casting news. So I'm thinking he might be playing the villain, or maybe it's a twist. Maybe he's not the villain, but That's my prediction, that whoever he's playing is the villain.
I would so much personally. I mean, I know it's. I mean, I guess it depends on when we see the film, but like, I would love to see Blade take on Morbius, which has been a thing in the comics.
Mm.
But and I feel like they've been teasing that there is something more with going on with Morbius than we're catching on to. And I know that on Monday the final trailer is dropping, which I'm sure we will talk about next week. Or if there is a show next week, depending on, because we'll let you guys know later. But I'm hoping that they. Again, I don't know why I would want to see Dracula in this franchise. I'm like, I think I can live without him, and there has to be something more interesting than Dracula. But yeah, no, he's a cool dude, and I'm glad he gets to be back in the comic book world. So but yeah, but we have some but while sticking to the MCU of it all, what's up with the Spidey?
Well, let's pull this image up here because oh, there we go. The tree.
Yes, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Michael are in this movie. In case y'all didn't know that.
Spoiler alert! Not really, not spoilers. I love this shot, by the way. It's so cool. We have the official information in terms of the release of Spider-Man: No Way Home, and I love the fact now, even though Sony has been releasing a few images here and there, later, like weeks after the release of the film, revealing, of course, all three Spider-Men are in this movie. We've known for over a year before the film released, and now we have official marketing because the featurette that dropped like a minute of footage in terms of bloopers and showing all different kinds of stuff and showing all three Spider-Men together. Of course, this shot here, I mean, it's pretty insane that this shot is real. It's not Photoshop. It actually is real. It's pretty crazy. We knew this was happening, but still. And to hear the information about it says 20 extra minutes of Peter 2 and 3, Toby and Andrew. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if they're meaning we're getting 20 more minutes of scenes of them.
If they said Peter 2 and 3, then that's the characters. Like they wouldn't say like Peter 2 and 3, and then if it's like behind the scenes footage, which is Andrew and Toby talking. So yeah, like, I guess there were scenes like, I mean, this was a long movie anyway. So like,
well, there's a rumor there's a 3-hour cut of this movie. It's like basically 2.5 hours, and there's a rumor that they're going to be re-releasing a director's 3-hour cut that features this footage in theaters. I don't know if that's true, because I think by now they would have already announced that, because they're pushing with the marketing of the Blu-ray and digital release. I don't think that's happening in terms of a theatrical. Yeah, but I'll say this: if it's 20 minutes of deleted scenes that feature both of them interacting more with Tom's Peter Parker, or just other sequences that they're in, maybe like scenes before they actually got pulled into meeting, of course, MJ and all that. I don't know if, because I feel like the way they were introduced in the film, I think it's as it should be. I don't think there is another way you could have shown them, like, because I don't want to see a sequence where they go to his Earth or they get pulled into his Earth like the villains were. I don't want to. I like the fact that they waited to show that they were in the film, even though we all knew they were coming. But it's interesting. I mean, and I can't wait for the bloopers. I'm most excited for the bloopers just because I love the fact that, you know, they actually show a good bit of that, and I'm curious to see the bloopers between all three of them. And I want to hear Kevin Feige, the Marvel Studios president, hearing his thoughts about bringing Andrew and Toby in, because that's pretty crazy they pulled this off. But yeah.
No, again, I just went to look and see like how long the film was in theatrical, and it was already 2 hours and 30 minutes. So like with extra 2 minutes, like this is essentially, you know, like I don't think there is like another like a 3-hour cut that they're just showing in theater. I think that this, like, whatever these 2 minutes are, this is the completed whatever we're getting and so on. Because yeah, like it's just, I don't think that right now they need to, you know, go and put it in theaters again, which is 30 extra minutes. So like, in this case, like, just put it on the Blu-ray, which it seems like they're doing anyway, and that way we can also avoid some more pandemic cases. But no, the thing that still blows my mind is that they did the meme thing. Like, that's how they announced it. Like, you know, they said, you know, coming on, and then the photo is just them all pointing at each other. And at first, I couldn't tell if it was like concept art. Like, I had to like really zoom in and be like, is it actually is it actually them?
Mhm.
And so, but yeah, like, and the funny thing, I don't really buy the Marvel films on Blu-ray or
Digital.
even digital download. So like,
Mhm.
like the last time I did it was literally for Far From Home. So this will be the next, the latest time I do it, because I mean, I like the MCU, but like for me, like I just don't have a passion to collect them. I don't even do with most of the DC films anyway. But with this, I'm like, this is something I want to own.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy too because like the fact that it actually exists. Because imagine if they weren't in the movie, I think it'd still be good, but I don't think it wouldn't be as special as it is. And a lot of people, I mean, a lot of people are excited for the release of this thing, so we can actually see it, especially with the ending. Because the fact is, the ending sequence with the new suit, it
So
kind of
quick.
yeah, it goes by so fast, and so people are going to be slowing that stuff down and looking at every frame to try to get the best shot of that suit, because people want to see it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Can't wait for the
Yeah.
release of it.
I still keep thinking about like how people, like, there was people who literally thought for a moment that they were not in the film. I'm just like, oh, come on, Sony, just tell them, tell them something, so that
Yeah.
we like that, so that I don't have to keep like like looking like a funny person every time I'm on video anywhere. But yeah, no, I'm happy that this is coming next month. And yeah, I mean, this might be one of the few cases where I actually get it on both digital download and then I buy it on Blu-ray and so on. Again, because I'm thinking of like, what if they just released? They have to have plans for like a bundle for the whole trilogy,
Oh yeah.
or doing like even all 8 films together, like explore the entire 8 movie saga. Even though this was never planned to be a culmination. I see we have a super chat from the fake
Oh,
Jake.
oh,
Uh,
thank you.
with the 499. So thank you, Jake, so
Thank you,
much.
Fake Jake. Thank
Hype.
you, sir.
Well, let's see: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, Flash.
Aquaman.
But isn't that a mermaid?
Yeah, but it's Aquaman. Like it's his version of Aquaman.
But
Uh,
what if we just use a fork?
I mean, I guess, but I'm assuming that's
And
Aquaman. But then Black Canary, and then I'm guessing that feather is Hawkman. I'm thinking, or
I
Hawk
see.
Girl.
I don't see any feather.
I do on the end of it. I see it.
Huh? I
I
don't
see
see
a
it.
feather. Yeah, I see it. It's after the little bird emoji is a
But
feather.
after the bird, there's nothing there. So
Oh, for me, I'm seeing it. I don't know. I have no
okay,
clue.
whatever. It's not a deal breaker. But thank you for the
But
super chat.
thank you for bringing us to Justice League. Thank you, sir. And speaking of, well, DC, our next topic actually, it works right well with our next topic, because we have the Batman final push for the film. And the thing is that they are releasing a lot of clips. Now, this movie's almost 3 hours. It's gonna be a long movie, but they're releasing a lot of clips, surprisingly. But at the same time, I'm not really surprised, because of the fact that the film has a lot of story potential in terms of introducing us to this new Gotham, this new Batman. There's a lot of things they have to do in this movie, so I understand why it is the way it is in terms of length. And people are like freaking out about the footage and how much footage they're showing. I'm honestly not scared. I think that what they're trying to do is show a lot of different aspects of the movie. I mean, the Catwoman clip was really, really good, showcasing her and the tone of it and the music, and the fighting between both of them when Batman shows up. And then you have a chase clip where we've seen in the trailers Batman is chasing Penguin. And I think they also dropped an Alfred clip and something else with Falcone. I'm not really sure of all they released, because they're kept like, it felt like every single time there's an interview with somebody, there's something else being shown as a clip. But the movie's coming out next week. It is crazy to say that we are finally getting this movie, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait, because I'm seeing it next Thursday, and I'm because people who've already seen the film are like praising it, and there's some people, of course, under embargo, but there's people that are like losing their minds over the Batman. So I'm ready to see it. I know you're seeing it a day before me, which I'm really jealous of. But have you seen any of the clips, or are you avoiding it, just waiting for the movie?
Well, this is the funny thing with this film is that, like, again, it's one of those things where like I've already been told too much about this. So like when I start seeing something about, oh, that's what they were talking about, oh, that's what they were hinting at, whatever, and so on. So I've actually avoided some of it. I've seen some of it. I've seen the chase. I've seen the funeral one where like he doesn't say
Yeah.
anything,
Hmm.
but also I've just been reading a lot of interviews with the cast and so on. They're saying a lot of interesting things about like what they want to do with sequels, what they want to do with some of the spin-offs, and just so much with it. And so I'm happy we're finally getting to this point that the film is finally ready to come out, and that we there's no more delays. And for me, like I'm not but I mean again I'm sure this movie is going to do gangbuster in the box and so on. But for me, I don't know if I necessarily need a sequel so quickly, because I want like because Matt Reeves said about that he wanted this to be like this. He doesn't see it as a chapter one. He's like, like this is a movie that has a mid start, middle, and an end. And like yeah, I have ideas for sequels, but like I just wanted to focus on making this a rare experience so that we can make the next one just as good. So um, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a sequel until like maybe 2 or 3 years from now. So
Oh,
but
I don't think we're gonna get it for a while. I feel like it's probably gonna be 2025, 3 years probably.
yeah,
Because also too, we know Matt Reeves signed on for a trilogy. We know that he signed on for multiple films. But I think in terms of his wording, I because like here's the thing, he could easily rush into filming the sequel at the end of this year if they wrote a script. They could easily try to get all the cast together. But I feel with the way he's talking about it is that um he doesn't want to rush into the next film. Like obviously I think this film was going to set up sequels. Like in terms of story points that can be touched on in a sequel, in terms of like a little tease, a little hint, or something is said that could be referenced and brought into a sequel. But in terms of, I think what he's meaning is this film is not setting up a ton of other sequels. It's its own film with some stuff that may be carried over, because we know we're getting that Gotham PD show.
yeah.
We're getting a Penguin series.
And that's what I was gonna say. I think he's gonna focus on them afterwards, because now they've been kind of taking a back seat because because I mean this film has been in production since January 2020, and then it finished like late last year. So I think that what's gonna happen is that he will probably go focus on those spin-offs and making sure that they, I know he's not the showrunner, but he's heavily involved as an EP because it has to match whatever they're doing in the films. So and I think it's better focus on those shows first if they even still happen, and then working on a sequel. And the thing is, as much as excited as been for this film, let's not kid ourselves. We have way too much Batman content as is. Like there is too much Batman going on. Like I'd rather have some of those four slots, if we get 4 movies per year given to other characters. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm ready for this film, but I'm also like I don't need the Batman 2 to come out in 2024, 2025, because then it probably has a bigger chance of being a letdown and so on. And that's probably why Batman Begins, like there was a gap between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and that's why The Dark Knight became as legendary as it became. So
We have some other DC news that I think is going to be a pretty interesting discussion. Look, it's not going to be interesting, and the fact is we're going to have a disagreeing on an opinion here.
It's more like clarifying what
Clarifying.
what this gorgeous man has said. So Tyler Hoechlin, who plays Superman on Superman Lois, he and his other cast members were present at Fan Expo Vancouver last weekend, and they, as usual during the panels, people ask them questions, so on. And one of the questions they were asked was, the dude was very respectable about it. Like he was asking, like, because I'm a little confused what's going on, like. Is the show really set in the same universe? Like I know Diggle showed up, but yet it's like there's no references, whatever. So Tyler, sweet dear old Tyler, gave maybe the longest answers I've ever had to transcribe. So to people in the chat, you need to give me some props for writing this up early in the week. And so here's what he had to say. Oh, good lord! And
God.
and you know what's so funny? Because there's so much text, I actually have to take out the Earth logo just so I can see what
I
it
was about to
says.
say, yeah.
And I would say there's so many different layers to that, especially for us last year having COVID. I know there were ideas of doing crossover, and then they just got scrapped right away. you're referring to that Superman and Batwoman crossover.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
have
even
a
keeping
crossover. Yeah.
I mean, even keeping your own production up and running was so difficult that it just got completely squashed for us. For us, at least for me, the way I have approached it from the beginning, again, these are all conversations that go on between all kind of people in LA and everywhere else. For us, we kind of just take care of what we're taking care of day to day. For me, for me, knowing what Bitsy and I had done in the previous shows and how we had our infant son before coming into this world and having two teenagers, I just had to make sense in my mind how we got there. And for me, it was a clean slate because otherwise I would be asking questions of what happened to our infant child. So for me, just to clarify and make it easier for me to get into what we're doing, I just cut it and started over. So whatever that ends up being, that's the thing with TV too. With film, you know where you start, you know where you finish. With TV, it's constantly evolving. So it might be one thing today, it might be something completely different tomorrow or next week or a year from now. So to say anything definitively, I know it's always annoying we don't do it, but it wouldn't be doing justice to it all because we don't know. It's never like a final answer until the show is over and then you get reboots. Hey, he laughs because he thought it was funny. It never ends. So for us right now, just at least the way I'm approaching it, it is that for me, the only memory I had as this Clark is that this has been my life with these guys, and that's just how I'm approaching it. So who knows? Time will tell with the rest.
Okay. So I'll let you take a breather for a second. I know you have lots of thoughts. So me and Andy actually talked about this earlier for a little bit, but we didn't want to get too much into it because we have everybody's topic. But it's okay, sir. You did good. So what Tyler is basically saying is this is how he's approaching it as an actor. He's not saying this is how the show is approaching it. He is simply saying because people are taking his words out of context or they're reading into something more. He's not saying this is what the show's doing. This is how I'm approaching it because he's like, what happened to my infant son? Tyler, crisis happened. That's what happened to your son. The timeline.
Tyler. It's like the Kill King interview with R. Kelly, like Robert, Tyler.
If Tyler watches this segment, then it's because Crisis changed the timeline. And you would know that because you were acting in the crossovers and you proposed to Lois as Superman in Elseworlds, and she was pregnant at the time. Well, actually, the actress was pregnant at the time. Bitsy was actually pregnant at the time. But
all right.
Yes. But you know that. And then you shot in your pilot, you shot you and her getting engaged in a completely different location, not during a crossover event. And you know exactly what happened because you were there in part 5 when the timeline was changed. So Tyler read the scripts for part 5 of Crisis. He knows that Supergirl's Earth has now merged with the rest of the Arrowverse, which means his Earth as well. He's on Earth Prime. He was, of course, in the Hall of Justice, not Justice, but he was in the Hall with the other heroes. It's the same Superman. But I'll leave it at that, and because there's a lot more we can discuss about things that's clearly how it's connected. But guys, people are looking way too far into this. It's just how he's approaching it as an actor.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I know there's a light flickering, and I'm not gonna go fix it now because if I do, I will probably accidentally lose all my power because last time I to fix a bulb, my whole power grid went out. So you will have to just deal with it, or I can turn off the lights behind me, but then I might look creepy with just a ring light in front of me. But so this is what I get annoyed by because I felt that when I wrote this article up on Screen Rant that I'm like, okay, this probably just clarifies things that yes, they're not focusing right now on like establishing what the other shows are doing, and also let's be fair. It's not like Flash and Legends and Batwoman is going around throwing out references every single week to everything. So it's like I just find it so funny that this is the show that people are putting under a microscope and going so ballistic over, being like, we haven't got any single reference. I mean, I will say this: it is garbage that they haven't even mentioned Kara once. Like to the point where like even one of the actors who plays who plays Jonathan, he said at Fan Expo that if there's anyone he could work with in the Arrowverse, like he wants to work with Melissa Benoist, he wants to work with Supergirl, like with with his aunt, in case people forgot it, but which I think this show has, but again, of course, people take this quote and they somehow try to spin it into, yeah, it's not connected, it's not, but it's like, okay. First of all, I think there's three reasons why people are saying. One is because they don't want this show to be part of the Arrowverse. They think that somehow this show is above all the others. The same franchise that also people were gushing about when we did Invasion, Elseworlds, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Crisis on Earth X, season 5 of Arrow, season 1 and 2 of Flash, season 2, 3, and 4 of Legend, which were some of the more critically acclaimed season of the show, season 1 and 2 of Supergirl. Like, I think it's like this is the same franchise that people like were gushing and loving every week for years. And the moment they start to dip, which happens with a lot of shows that do go into season 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, and so on, they're like, Summer Lois is too good for them. Like, we don't want it to be associated, and we want it to be its own thing. And like, even when Mother effing Diggle shows up, mentions that you're like parallel Earth, he mentions the alien box, and he mentions Oliver. They're like, it's not part of the same universe. Like, what do you people need for convincing? And also, and you know what? Because I was working on something, and then I remember, hey, I have another thing I can use to kind of simmer people down a little bit. So, because I think some have maybe forgotten, but I know some people definitely paid attention to it when I dropped this. So last November, when I spoke to Eric Wallace, I had a Flash Armageddon. One of the questions I asked him was, were there characters that you did try to get in, that you could, and you're like Supergirl, Superman, and he gave a very long response about Melissa, and then he also talked about Tyler. So I'm going to pull this up here for those who missed. I called Tyler up. I've known him since my Teen Wolf days, and said, "Hey Tyler, can I run a favor past you?" We tried, and he wanted so bad to be on this, but he did say to me, "I'll give you some good news, Eric. I'm so sorry because of scheduling conflicts and COVID, I cannot do Armageddon. But I owe you one, and I'll be on your show the next time you call." And I said, "I'm going to hold you to that." So hopefully we'll get him, because again, I've known Tyler for years, and he's such an incredible guy. And Bitsy, who I met on Crisis on Infinite Earths, she's just a sweetheart. I can't wait to have him over on The Flash, just not this time.
That tells you right there, guys.
Yeah, like it's not like they're gonna have Tyler and Bitsy play suddenly a different Lois and Clark that is not on Superman Lois. Like, guys, do you think the CW? Okay, I know CW can sometimes do things that we may not always like, but they know that putting Superman Lois outside the main franchise and making it more challenging to find creative reasons how to have crossovers and so on is a financial set for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, if it hadn't been for this global thing that we're going through right now, I'm sure we would have seen them pop up every, like at least once last season and then once this season. So I don't know what else people need to be convinced.
It's because a current show has not crossed over with Superman and Lois, or vice versa. Here's the thing. As it was mentioned with Tyler's thing about the fact that there was a plan and they got scrapped right away because of everything going on, the global shutdown and all that kind of stuff. But he would have crossed over with Batwoman. Like, that was planned, and they were planning on having other characters from other shows popping up, which probably included Flash and probably Supergirl, and they just got scrapped. Everything just kind of went downhill. And we have these comics that are canon to the Arrowverse that are crossing over with these shows. Now, if the comics that are coming out with this crossover event for the Arrowverse, if the comics say that their Earth is separate, then okay, we'll have a discussion. But it would make no sense, because like you mentioned, Diggle shows up. He mentions Lila. He mentions Oliver's death. Okay. It'd be too much of a coincidence to reference he's married to a woman named Lila on another Earth, and that the Oliver on this Earth is dead too. Like, first of all, not every Earth Diggle knows Oliver Queen. It's not, that doesn't make sense to me. It's too close. And the fact is too, Lois knows this Diggle. Why? Because they've met before in the crossovers. They know each other. So this whole notion of it's separate. Well, here's the thing. I know people are going to point to this. Well, they recast General Lane. They recast Lois's father. Well, guess what? That happens. Crisis changes. And also probably the actor maybe wasn't available. Maybe they just didn't. Who knows? But they recast it. Well, like I mentioned, Diggle. They also brought back Lucy Lane, the original actor from Supergirl season 1. If they really wanted to separate this, it would not have been Diggle who shows up to hand over whatever was needed for him to be on the episode. They found a way to make that work and they made sure to mention Argus. And also, when they were going to bring Lucy Lane into the show, they could have easily recast, but they did not. They're finding a lot of ways to keep it connected, because if this was a separate show, then why is Superman and Lois the same? Why are they the same actors?
Yeah.
If they wanted to make a separated show out, first of all, it wouldn't be on the CW. It'd be on HBO Max if they wanted to do a Superman and Lois show. Because having on the CW and having the same actors and having it being set in a crisis changed world, I mean, why would they do that? Because they had because see, Warner Brothers had to sign off on Superman and Lois being created. They had to sign off for the rights. If they wanted to do a show that's not connected to the Arrowverse, they would have done it on HBO Max or another network, but more than likely HBO Max. But still, there's too many things in front, there's too
the
many.
damn comic is called Earth Prime, and Superman Lois is in Earth Prime issue 3. I mean, I don't know what,
And also Stargirl's Earth 2, but like that's obviously Earth 2 because they already showed that. Oh yeah, okay. Point 2, Crisis Part 5. When they're all in the hall, standing there looking at the memorial for Oliver, Earth Prime pops up. Stargirl, Earth 2. They made it sure exactly what Earth all these properties are taking place on. And you're saying, well, he has a different suit. Superheroes get upgrade all the time, but you don't say anything,
Yeah, Flash has changed how many times? Why Canary has changed her suit many times. Black Lightning has. Batwoman has. It's like, and I think another reason I think that I was going to bring up is I think another reason why people have such a hard time, I think, believing that this is connected to the same universe, is that because it has a higher budget and it fills with different types of cameras, and that's why they feel like there's no way. Like, also, guys, when Flash came out, it had a huge budget and it looked different. The thing is, production evolves every season. Every season, there are budget cuts. It's gonna happen to this show too. Like, don't think that Superman Lois is somehow like there is no HBO Max backing this. This is all CW, and CW at some point they're gonna have to do budget cuts. It happens to every show. Probably one of the reasons why we have fewer episodes this season for Flash, for Legends, for Batwoman, is because these are shows that are getting further into the run, and it's expensive to make these shows. So, and it's gonna happen to Sumo Lois too, I promise you. And because the thing is, ratings dictate a lot of things as well. And Sumo Lois is doing, it's one of the top 3 shows of the network, I guess. But like, let's remember when Flash came out, like it was doing like 4 or 3 million viewers per week for like 2 seasons. So and I'm not trying, and like, I'm not trying to, because I know I do the Flash probably whatever. I'm not trying to like somehow be like, well, Flash, is whatever. No, it's like, it's the biggest comparison I can make, because out of all the shows that have come and gone between 2014 up till now, Superman Lois is like, it is the next Flash, definitely, but it's coming at a different time where like people are not watching things live anymore as much. They're watching on DVRs, they buy it on Apple on iTunes, or like DVR and all those things. They watch it on the CW website. So yeah, for me, like, it's getting to a point where I'm like, I don't understand why people are trying so hard to dismiss that this is in, if you don't like that it had that, if you don't like the other shows, that's perfectly fine. But don't try to like find every breadcrumb and to justify that, this is why it's not in the same universe. So,
and that's what they're going to do until we have Melissa Benoist pop up as Supergirl, or Superman pops up on the Flash. I feel like that it's always going to be something, and especially with Tyler's response, people are going to take that out of context, saying, well, he's saying that's how he's looking at it. Well, that's how he looks at it as the actor. He's not looking at it as this is exactly what the show is doing. It's not up to him who writes the show. Like,
he's not a writer, no producer. He is just the actor. He just reads his line and does the acting.
He can probably throw out suggestions, but that doesn't mean anything. We can go on forever about this, but basically it's this. There is no way this show is not connected. I'm sorry. There's too many things that are pointing towards it being connected. It's the first Arrowverse show that is post-Crisis in terms of it's started after Crisis, because all the other shows had to adapt and show changes. Guess what? Superman and Lois started a year earlier. They would have done the same thing. They would have shown that they lost baby Jonathan, and then they would have shown them having twin boys. Because also at part 5, when Superman gets a hold of Lois and he's flying through the air and she's talking to him on the phone, she references the boys. He's like, the boys. And then we see he has the boys, the 2 teenage sons. They had that in part 5 of Crisis. And of course they have 2 teenage boys in the show. If it's a completely different show, they wouldn't have 2 teenage boys. That's too much of a coincidence to be a separate thing. So it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it just makes it exhausting to even follow like I mean I try to not to pay too much attention to social media these days anyway, but like when it does pop up on feeds that I'm like, if I'm following certain accounts and so it is exhausting to see that this is the discussion that's still going on because of one, like there's people who just think this show is better than all the other ones. That all the shows are beneath Superman Lois, where it's like they're the reason why we even have a Superman and Lois TV show. Period. There's no opinion there. It's that's the only right answer there. But second, I think it was because they do different special effects, because they do a different type of filming with camera and so on. They somehow it's like, well, it wouldn't match. Like, well, first of all, the company that does Superman Lois, I'm pretty sure they do some of the other shows now. I think they do Stargirl. I think they do The Flash, and so. I just again like it feels like it's like people are just wanting to act as if Superman Low, like it's the only show that deserves to exist. When again, this is the same brand that people were gushing for years and years and years, and because it's starting to decline a little bit in quality, how much that's a different debate. But people are, because it's losing quality, people are now acting as if the era is completely trash. It's just, oh my god, it's just CW soap opera garbage. I'm sorry, this show has tons of soap opera. There's tons of teenage angst. Like this week, oh my god, like the angst was so high that I had to open a window to get air. So,
but yeah, so yeah, we could definitely talk more about this, but at the end of the day, unless we see something different, it's connected. There's no question about it, guys. I think it's time that we jump into what I think will bring up the moon, because I know that Andy's frustrated about this. It's frustrating because it really is frustrating about all this stuff, because there's people that people like to put misinformation out there, basically, is the issue. But live Q&A time, and I think this is gonna. I would like to think this here is gonna bring up the spirits of the chat, the spirit of Andy, because I know he loves this part. He loves this very much.
he just stopped. I thought there was something gonna be. It was gonna be something more.
I want you to notice the last 10th of a second. He looks at you, and then it cut. I want you. We're gonna talk again. Barry wants to talk one more. He looks right into your soul. Right into your soul, guys.
Well, it's Grant Gus and he's allowed to. So
yes, Victor, thank you for the super chat, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello, Victor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hello, Chain and Andy. Could the show take place before Kara became Supergirl? That is okay. That's a good theory, but I'm going to say no, because of the fact that after Crisis occurred, in terms of the timeline being shifted and everything going back to normal in this new timeline that Oliver created, we have Lois talking about the boys in the timeline where they just fought and beat Anti-Monitor. Well, they basically kept shrinking him over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But with her referencing the teenage boys, it's not before this. Because it wouldn't make sense, I don't think.
Yeah, the only reason they're not mentioning Kara is because I know in last season they said and I can maybe buy that reason a little bit more. The other ones I've kind of just cackled at, but one reason was because they didn't know where things were going to air. They because of the schedule mix-up and so on. So they didn't want to spoil accidentally by representing, Kara is stuck in the Phantom Zone or something like that. But everything that they've said since then, like, there was, we were supposed to have a photo of Kara in the pilot, but we had to be cut. Todd, help me. Todd, listen to me. Showing a photo takes 0.2 seconds. We could have had, you know what you could have trimmed? Less of Kyle's bitching that went on for like 5 minutes in the pilot, and we could have had them show the photo. So, A photo doesn't have a soul. It doesn't have dialogue. It doesn't need its own trailer or craft service. It needs to be held by someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But thank you, Victor, for the super chat.
What was
Thank
the
you.
other question?
Oh, how was After Crisis in the comics?
When the comics, there was only one Earth after the crisis. So that's the biggest difference. And in as far as I've been able to research, because I didn't live back then, but as far as I understand, was that when they started doing new comics for the other characters and so on, like there was, the writers had more freedom. I don't know if Craig is still here, but like he probably would know this better than I do. But like they had more freedom to say, here's the new timeline for Flash, here's a new timeline for Batman, here's a new timeline for Wonder Woman and so on. And so it's difficult to compare to the comic because I think the whole reason they, because of the whole change ending difference, it's tough. But like basically what we know from Crisis in this universe is that the heroes have worked together for way longer than initially. Like like they worked long before 2014, like or 2012 when Oliver became a hero and so on, because Black Lightning existed, Superman existed, and so on. And so and then and then whatever the shows want to do in terms of like continuity wise, like that's why we've seen a lot of Flash episodes where they do like new takes on Rainbow Raider or Royal Flush Gang and so on, because that was the whole point of Crisis. They wanted to have one continuity and be able to do a fresh, clean slate. Oh, there we go. Craig says it. So I'm gonna pull this. New creators like John Byrne and George Perez did redo the timelines post Crisis, sometimes making more confusion. So, say even in comics, it could get messed up.
It can get messy. Julian has a good question here. Any crossover in the Arrowverse you guys want to happen? Doesn't have to be huge or based on any pre-existing stories. I've always thought that crossovers post-crisis would be on the smaller scale. Because people say, what about Final Crisis? Like, no, guys. Like,
no more Crisis for a while, please.
Well, it's not even that. It's just the fact that I feel people just want to try to go bigger each year, each time there's a crossover. And that's just not how things work. Because literally, they did Crisis on Earth X, then they pulled back a little bit and then did Elseworlds. It was a smaller scale, not 4 episodes, only 3. They cut out the legends, all that. And it's like at the end,
still significant though.
Yeah, still significant, but it's just like they scaled it down some in terms of how many characters they were trying to involve. Crisis, they went all out and they spent way too much money of their budget on cameos when they should have more focused on the story. But at this point, they just need to focus more on just telling a good story first and then worry about your characters later. And this relates, of course, to Arrowverse. Here we got Chosen Vader owner saying, "Did you guys see the new season 8? You posted it. I retweeted it. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a really good poster. I like that it's him by himself without his cowl. Fake Jake, thank you.
Thank you.
So I've got another update for you guys. My surgery's coming this week. Awesome. I finally get to see.
Well, thank God.
Well, hopefully your surgery turns out good. Please keep us updated. Make sure you tweet at us or however when things go down and see what's happening, because we're here for you, man. You gotta be positive.
Yeah. But to answer Julian's other question, I think Armageddon was a great example of what these crossovers should look like. I know that even though Armageddon isn't a crossover, and I like the idea that someone like Black Lightning can show up for an episode, or someone like the Atom can show up for an episode. So like I don't need, like we were saying this a lot on the Flash podcast, that we don't need these heroes to only come together when like the end of the world is at stake. Now in this case, the end of the world was at stake, but it didn't have to be like we had to build it up for many seasons. Whatever. So it's just that for 1 week, Black Lightning shows up and helps Barry. For 1 week, the Atom shows up. For 1 week, Green Arrow and Mia Queen shows up, and so on. So it's I think that should be the format, and then let's see what this franchise is in 5 years from now. But like again, it depends on like will there even be a CW depending on the sales? Will there even be enough shows where they can even do these kind of crossovers? I know they're gonna probably try and do crossovers, but like it would really shock me if next season, for example, they decide to do like Crime Syndicate or or do something from the comics that is on a sort of large scale. When like again, I don't know if it would even be possible right now because I don't think we need. I think definitely if let's say if season 9 is the final one, then I say let's definitely do one last big crossover where um whatever shows are still. I mean, again, this is the thing. None of these shows have been renewed, and so. But yeah, I figure Flash, Batwoman, and Superman will at least do something, and probably Stargirl. But I again, like I think smaller crossover, like these heroes, they just casually hang out, like they just like, they just do smaller things,
Yeah.
or a hero shows up to help solve a problem that isn't necessarily involving fighting and doing action stuff.
Let's see. I'm kind of bummed we haven't got a Jimmy Olsen reference in Superman and Lois, and considering they're best friends. Yeah, I hear that, but also this is like they do reference.
Was he never mentioned once?
Not in Superman and Lois, but they've met, of course, in Supergirl. I feel maybe he was referenced. I don't remember.
Let me go to Arrowverse wiki because they usually.
Okay.
He was mentioned in season 1 during one episode, so he's been out there.
Yeah, it's but like I think he should pop up on the show. But fake Jake here. So I would love if they resolve the Green Arrow and the Canary's cliffhanger. I mean they kind of continue that a bit in Armageddon. But I feel like they're probably gonna. I feel like Eric Wallace is probably hinting they're probably gonna continue with that. They might bring back Kat again to do some more Mia stuff. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to. I'm saying the way they went about telling that part of the story with her, it kind of implies to me that they're not done telling a version of what they were going to try to do in the Green Arrow Canaries series. But that's just.
But I agree with the second part that they should do during like a season of Legends, consider that they don't do anything these days anyway, which might be about to change next week. Depending on who Donald Faison plays. But yeah,
I saw you retweet a tweet. I saw.
Yeah. I was just bored. I just wanted to because again, I think it would be stupid if he wasn't boosted gold.
Are you guys excited for Jensen Ackles to be playing Batman on a secret project? Now, where did we hear this information that Jensen Ackles is playing Batman? And also, too, if he's playing Batman in Gotham Knights, guess what? He dies. So I'm not really excited because he's going to die. So, like,
that would be a waste of that would be like paying money for a very expensive actor just to have him get killed off. And also, whoever said that his secret project is a TV show.
If anything, something like Christ on Earth 1 would be cool if JSA from Earth 2 crosses over. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what the thinking is that I
actually wrote literally that article last year that's how Star Wars should cross over with or Prime, because it's one of the few comic arcs that I read where it's like old school comics. So I think it just would be so fun seeing the kids interact with Barry and Jefferson and Sarah and whoever else is around.
So we've talked about this before about the 10-year anniversary. Technically, the 10-year anniversary is this year because Arrow started in 2012. Meaning like the fall in terms of when the shows come back. I don't know if they're planning anything. My thinking is if they are planning a crossover for the fall or into close to Christmas time, we'll hear about it at the upfronts or when they announce the shows are renewing. I'm assuming they would have to,
or even later. Not some places they don't have. They didn't even announce all the Armageddon stuff at upfronts.
Well, yeah, I think if they're going to cross over the shows, they probably would announce that ahead of time. Because when I think back on when they would announce crossovers, before everything shut down, it would be earlier and earlier each year they would announce the crossover. I remember when they announced Elseworlds, it was at the upfronts. They didn't call it Elseworlds, but they announced Batwoman's coming to the Arrowverse and crossing over with these shows and everything, and they announced that in May of that year. And Crisis, of course, was announced a year in advance after the end of Elseworlds. So I would think that they might wait till the upfronts, or they'll probably announce it when they announce the renewals of the shows, if they're doing something.
But also, here's the thing I need to reiterate that people have. I think I said it on your stream, other streams before and so on, but where does this idea come from that they're necessarily doing an anniversary? Because again, this has not been said at all by anyone. Craig, if you're still here, if you have heard anything, feel free to say something. Because again, this doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
I think it's just people just having hopes that they're going to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of this.
That's fine, but like the way that people are talking about it, like, and I've seen it in other like YouTube chat and like even on social media, is that they're talking about it as if like this has someone in the Arrowverse, someone who's involved with these shows, has said something to to somehow suggest the idea that this is somehow happening. I think if anything, we will have an anniversary special in terms of like the actors coming together and talking about the franchise. I don't like. I think that would be easier and cheaper to to do. Exactly. Like it would be easier to make that happen as opposed to
Do like an hour special with cast members, past and present, in terms of like get Stephen Amell to come in and do some interviews, or do like some talking or whatever. Get the other actors. I do want to read this real fast before we read Craig's thing here about this. Thank you so much for the kind words about you liking the show and waiting all week. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much. So Craig says this: I don't think anything's planned, especially since COVID is still a thing, but also Crisis was so intense. I think future crossovers was like, okay, Armageddon. I can kind of see that. But I would like to think that they could probably figure it out, because I feel like the protocols are probably not as intense in terms of the shooting, because that was the big issue with the shows crossing over, is that they could not, like with the restrictions, they could not cross over crews. Like the actors, they were able to do that with Armageddon, but the crews is why they couldn't do it. That's why Armageddon was able to work, because it was only Flash crew that worked on the episodes. But I don't know, unless Canada Graphs hears anything. Maybe it's still the same kind of restrictions. I'm not really sure, but if it's not as strict, they might try to pull a crossover. Maybe it's just a 2-show or 2-episode event with like Flash and Batwoman or something. Yeah, who knows? But I would like to think if they do something. I mean, I would be fine if they do something like Armageddon again, like do like season 9, hypothetically, if we get season 9 of Flash, which I think we will. The first 5 episodes, like Armageddon, is a crossover event in terms of bringing other characters from other shows into another storyline or something, like another arc.
Yeah, because again, I don't know what I should say about it, but I just, again, at this point, like, I'm not against it. I just like, I think when you guys talk about it, wherever you guys are, if you're on social media, on YouTube channels or whatever and so on, don't talk about this as if this is a fact, because again, none of this has been said, and also a 10-year anniversary for shows that have gone up for this long, and with actors who now, like, their salary rates have gone up more and more, and so, and also on the network that is right now up for sales, I wouldn't get my hopes up. But I think if anything, an Arrowverse special, like where like almost like a documentary for like an hour or something, and to kind of kick off the new season, I could see that happen. I think that would be easier and more practical to do. And
I think Stargirl shoots in Atlanta, and I think
it
the rest
is.
shoot in Vancouver. I don't think anything shoots in Toronto unless something's moving.
I mean, Titans does, but like, but we're talking about strictly CW shows.
Yeah,
It's in.
Yeah, keep Titans away, please. I don't want Titans crossing over. The Firestorm arc in season 1 and season 2, Crisis on 2 Earths, and season 3, Gorilla City. Okay, no idea. Okay. It's more of a hope than a fact. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I've been seeing from people. I haven't really seen anybody talking about like this is happening. I've seen people just asking like, "What do you think they would?" I'm like, I would think they would, but I don't know. I'm not them. Oh, Gotham Knights might shoot in Toronto. Well, we know that they're doing the pilot. We know that much. I'm ready for casting. Tell me who's in the show, because we had that report go out that people don't need to believe. People don't need to believe in that report.
You just made Craig so happy now.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, I mean, I love hate it. I want it to be good because I love those characters in terms of from the comics, but they just keep dropping the ball every time. So I liked Call the Cobblepot from the Batman. I did. I liked it. I reacted to it today. It was good. What's the day yesterday? No, today. It was today. Only time Titans had a good crossover with the CW is when Dr. Flashpoint made his. Oh yeah, when Dr. Flashpoint fan made stuff. Of course.
That was fun.
The future DC show with Nora Bartman and more. Interesting.
I guess William would be the other one we would need. How many likes do we have right now?
How many likes?
Yeah, we're 23 guys, so let's get up to 40. We need 17 more.
Yeah, guys, we were trying to go for 40 likes on this stream before we end tonight. We're at 22, like he said. Let's try to get to 40, guys. Can we do it? Can it be possible?
And we're not going. I mean, we're not going. Yeah, don't worry, because it's because we had less topics to talk about this week. We have more time for Q&A. So what is Triple X saying here? After
Okay.
stop doing mini art, and that's I don't understand. That's what did they didn't do mini arcs in season 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I would love if we had 2 to 3 arcs throughout the seasons that were the length of Arrow's prison arc. Ooh, Arrow Road to Crisis, the Blood Worker. Oh,
I do like that.
That would have been interesting, but obviously it's not how they approach the show. I don't know why people assume a show would automatically be better just because it's on HBO. Okay, this is a good point. But you gotta remember, Titans was first on DC Universe. It wasn't on HBO. But thing is, I think Titan season 3 was being made for DC Universe before the move over to HBO Max. I believe that was what the thinking was. Now, I'm assuming there's not going to be a change in season 4. There's not going to be a complete shift in the show in terms of characters and in terms of tone. They're going to continue as is with season 4 of Titans. And I don't know. I feel like it's probably not going to do as well as they think it would, because I think people watch in my opinion, the first 3 episodes of season 3 they dropped all at once were pretty solid. Like, they were definitely better than than what season 1 and 2 had to offer for the most part. There was some stuff here or there, but mostly it was better. But then the show just kind of went downhill after that in terms of they were just all over the place. It was like roller coaster.
I enjoyed season 3 more than I did with season 2, especially with the finale, because like the season 2 finale, I was furious. But I think that the effects look a little bit better now since they moved to HBO Max, because I think I even like one of the production people talked about at a panel where they like one of the things they had to recreate was the VFX body for Beast Boy's Tiger. Like, they had to restart that basically, and and like they recreated it to make it look a little fresher and so on. So like at least there are changing things in some aspect. Right now, like I'm cautiously optimistic because they're giving us more Teen Titans villains in season 4. But and I think also given that they've gotten rid of Hawk and Dove, and we're not gonna have Scarecrow eating up every scene, and because that was so, and we're not gonna have a douchebag playing him either.
Not really Scarecrow, by the way. He wasn't really Scarecrow.
Yeah, whatever, Jonathan Crane, whatever you want to call it.
That is the character, but I don't think he was that character. I feel like he was just a crazy dude that happened to be called Scarecrow, but he never looked like Scarecrow to me. Just some guy in a suit, being crazy and yelly. That's all he was.
Yeah. It's for me, season 3 of Titans, with the mistakes they made there, it is equivalent to the issues that I think season 7 of Flash had, where like they had to survive a pandemic and learn how to deal with all these changes. And now that I think people have got a better grip on it, I think that's why, for example, Armageddon was so good because I think that they figured it all out, and like they'd be able to kind of adjust to it better. So, and I think maybe that's will happen with Titans as well. So,
fake Jake.
Oh dear Lord!
Oh, thank you so much. But before I answer your question, I have to play this clip because I feel like Barry right now. I feel like Barry right now. Your face.
Can I read this?
Hold on, before you do, I was also like, this is how I truly felt when I saw your thing come out, when your message.
How does he? Even when he yells, it's pretty.
I gotta say that again because you can see his face.
I want to read this now. I want to read this.
I'm sorry.
Here's my pitch for a new Arrowverse show. Again, thank you, Fake Jake, for the generous super chat. Irving then is restored post-crisis. Conroy's Bruce isn't a murderer anymore, but close to his Batman Beyond self, and he's mentioning Terry to be the next Batman, the Bat of the future.
The title, the Bat of the Future. I mean, I like that title. I like that title.
And then Kate shows up and was like, "That's my title."
Oh God, no. I think I don't think they would call it Batman Beyond if they did it like if they did this. I think they would.
They would. I think because one, it's shorter, and also they know. I mean, the thing is, Warner Brothers owns that IP, and they're not dumb. They're not gonna surpass.
I feel like at some point we're gonna get Batman Beyond. But I like your idea of we have Kevin Conroy playing a live action Bruce Wayne, and he's not the murderer. And it's restored, so that means that he had a different path. He took a different path, which is something I haven't really thought of about. Okay, so what happened? Because it's just like, is the Earth completely different, or did it play out in a similar fashion? Did like Bruce Wayne die in another way like that? But with your idea, because Crisis changed everything, Oliver recreated everything, what if he created Earth 99 to have a Batman that did not go like that? Fake Chick has this point here too about would be the title Batman Beyond is the title. Bat of the Future's play on what Monitor said to Crisis. I mean, that's true, because the idea was that Kate Kane was supposed to be the Bat of the Future. Of course, that fell to shit. But the idea of Terry being the Bat of the Future because of the fact that Bruce can no longer physically do this. He can't. And I think it would be really interesting because they did this in Batman Beyond. If you remember, you've seen the show, correct? You've had to have seen the show. I mean, come on.
Is water wet? Yeah, of course I've seen that.
Water's dry. I don't know what you're talking about. But the opening of the show, he's in the Batman Beyond suit, and he can't do it anymore. He physically can't do it anymore. And I feel like I think they would have to show something like that, even though obviously we don't want to, copy and paste what the show did in terms of animation to live action. But I think they would probably need to show Bruce on his last, fight with a villain, whether it's whoever, and he physically can't do it anymore. And then that's where he meets up with Terry and all that kind of stuff. And I think I would like for them to make some changes too, so that it's not a complete carbon copy paste, because if they follow the kind of same storylines, it's going to be predictable. So I would like for them to kind of switch it up a little bit.
I would love it if CCH Pounder came in as Amanda Waller, which is what Arrow season 2 should have done, but instead they got whoever faced from Spartacus, who was like boring, honest. I mean, like no offense to her, but I just didn't really buy her as Amanda. And also, like, I want a traditional Amanda. Let her be the big boss that she is.
I mean, I like this thing too about they could have done Batman Beyond with swapping Batgirl, but I think that that's not the approach, because he's still being Batman. Like, Keaton is still Batman. So it's not like she's replacing him per se, because I mean, he's physically going to be Batman in Flash. He's going to be Batman in Batgirl. Now, with you saying too about Eric Siebert adding in, I hope that they're both successful, which I hope so as well, honestly, and that this might lead to Keaton becoming, doing Batman Beyond with a Terry, which I feel like is probably more likely. But I think they're probably not going to call it Batman Beyond. They'll probably just call it something else in terms of him, like a new guy becoming the Batman. Maybe it's not even Terry, but I think people say blasphemy if they do something Batman Beyond related and it's not Terry. But yeah, who knows? Because like I said, DC owns the property. They can make those changes and people probably be upset at it. Let's see. 40 likes, guys. Can we get to 40 likes for the stream?
We're at 28 now.
28? Okay. 28.
Let me scroll back to the top of the chat and see what people have been saying, because I'm sure people were asking us things back then even. I like this. Krypton was always wanted to be added into the continuity of Superman Lois, of them using the same actors. Yeah, Krypton. Yeah, this is why I just don't give a crap anymore about sci-fi, because they're garbage. Because they cancel it. That's like, they have a reputation of canceling some of their greatest shows after only 2 seasons. America Chavez was supposed to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, she was in the concept art that came out.
Let's see. The Jensen Ackles thing, do not know what that's about. Well, are you gonna react to Peacemaker?
This is how I feel about. Wait, pull it up again.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Pull it up again. Okay, you can take it off. This is how I feel about reacting to Peacemaker. That's how I feel.
You
about
did not. You
Oh, I
did.
did. Oh, I did. Wait. You want to see it again? I was wondering how you were going to respond to that.
Are you done?
I'm done with that clip.
Put up your hands. I don't trust you.
I'm scrolling.
Okay.
I'm scrolling through. Fake Jake has this point too. I would personally prefer Conroe over Keaton, his old man Wayne. Hey, that's completely fine.
They're both old, so they're
yeah.
like they're both winning in that category.
They're both Bruce Waynes in the same show. Whatever. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, guys. 40 likes. Can we do it? I sure have too much power.
Don't you dare play any more clips right now, like especially that one.
I'm not. That clip was only saved for people asking really dumb questions. Let's see. Anything else in the back? Like back it up here?
Let's see. Let me go back.
This point about No Way Home broke the in-game record as the most pre-ordered movie ever. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know. It feels like there was more hype for No Way Home in terms. I mean, I don't know. The in-game had a lot of hype, so I don't know.
Yeah, but in comparison, Spider-Man is this is the thing. MCU had to start with characters that were based. I mean, there was a time where Iron Man and Captain America and Thor were B and C list characters. Nobody cared about them until these movies, or at least like the general audience didn't care about them until these movies. And let's see, what are people saying at the top? I think that's when we started answering more stuff.
Amazing Webhead. He just got IMAX tickets for the Batman. Awesome. When are you seeing it, sir? Let us know. When are you seeing?
I wish I had an IMAX theater in my town.
I think there's an IMAX in my area. I just don't go to it. I just don't go to it. Fake Jay, thank you for getting for the super chat, sir. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you.
This is the darkest sentence I've ever read.
Oh, I forgot.
I went on a jog today and had the reverse flash theme playing on the background, and now the timeline is destroyed.
I thought you were gonna say I went on a jog and reverse flash stuck his hand through me.
You're gonna pull this go. Wow. I don't like. I mean, I never looked at that theme as like jogging material, so I don't.
I just love the fact that it was destroyed because of the theme play. I don't think there's been much news about season 3 that I've heard. Have you heard anything about season 3?
Probably. But it's filming. They're filming, and I think they're getting close to being done. But if you guys, since Craig is in the chat, you can go follow at Stargold TV, where he keeps you updated. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. I think it's Craig. Is it on Facebook on that URL? At Stargold TV, and you can get up the latest information about Stargirl. So, but yeah, I'm waiting for the show to come back. I love the show so much, and I hope that they start revealing things sooner rather than later. And yeah, that was appointment television for me last season.
It's AMC there. Yeah, we don't have AMC around here. Oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about the Fairly Odder trailer. Oh god.
What trailer?
The Fairly Odd Parents, the sequel show they're making, the hybrid live action animation, which is a dumpster fire. I react to it. It's terrible. Stargirl TV News was on Facebook, he says.
Okay, yeah, on Twitter it's at Stargirl TV. So
hello, Michael. Hello,
Michael. How you doing?
Oh, favorite Batman that is not Bruce Wayne. Dick Grayson's a good choice. That's a good question. I honestly don't know. I mean, Terry's a good Batman. Dick Grayson's a good Batman, but they built the whole show around Terry becoming Batman. And Dick Grayson only became Batman because he had to in necessary situations. It's not like he wanted to become Batman. Because I try to remember, I don't think Dick Grayson ever wants to become Batman ever in any iteration that I've read that I remember. He's had to for story reasons, not because he wanted to, because he had to. Because he becomes Nightwing.
Yeah, I guess it's by the way, to everyone, yes, you can stop messaging me. Yes, I know that tweet, my tweet is showing up everywhere in tons of websites and art. Like I get it. I get it. I get it. Like I haven't missed it. I don't. Did I read the comics when Dick became Batman? I don't really remember. I mean, if that's the thing that people think is the cheesiest thing they said in this franchise, look at what some of the other shows have done. Like, how many times could Kara say "hope" in one sentence during a season?
We've been live for an hour and 10 minutes. You missed the topics, and we've done a fair amount of questions, but you're here, so welcome. Thank you for stopping by.
I guess Terry is my other favorite Batman, if there's any, because like I haven't read the Jace Fox comic. I've read one issue, I think. Yes, get to 40 likes. Come on, we're at the. What are we at? We are at 28 likes.
Let's get to 40 likes, guys, before we go off. Let's get to 40. Let's see here.
Probably at least 20 more minutes. Then maybe longer. Depends on
depending on topics and stuff. He wanted to get out of Batman's shadow, but realized he never truly could. That's a good point. Okay, I don't think we'll ever get Miss Martian on Titans. No. And also, too, Young Justice, I think they're going to try to steer clear of anything relating to Young Justice, in my opinion. I don't think they would do Miss Martian. That could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think she'll become Parasite, yeah.
I think she'll become Allison Mack.
Jesus.
Craig, anything you want to add to that?
I mean, in terms of this episode this week, the way Chrissy turns to her and says, "You were everywhere," that kind of implies Parasite. Ooh, Aiden, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
If you could pitch an original show with original characters, heroes for the Arrowverse, what would you do?
Like not from the comics?
It sounds like to me originally here. Yeah, it sounds like he's implying we have to create these characters. Oh God, I would probably. I'd probably do a character that is probably not a vigilante, probably not an alien, like, from a faraway planet that got destroyed, like something similar like that. It'd probably be, I don't even know, because
let me ask this: can it be someone like Mia Queen who is in the comic, but she is related to someone from the comics that is in the shows?
I mean, maybe. I mean, he says, nothing from the comics. I don't even know.
Nothing from the comics.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's implied.
Well, yeah, in the comics, Ali Alston, which again, like, they could have easily just renamed her because, a cult, in Smallville,
That's a good point too.
But yeah, I would say, this
is point.
I would want to see. Because again, if we're I would want to see someone that could be really like a hero that is both very active in their day-to-day life, in terms of like their job, like maybe like a politician or something like that, and then is a superhero during the night.
Mm-hmm.
We got another super chat.
Yeah, I was going to point out that whenever there's a legitimate source by Dick Grayson and Gotham Knights, we will discuss. But until then,
Craig is playing all the Gotham Knights. There we go. Fake Jake with the super chat. Thank you so much, Jake. Jordan, remember that Young Justice clip from season 1 where Canary, Case Connor, and Oliver and Dinah flipped up until they realized it was McGann, and then Ollie burst out in laughter. That was I love season 1.
God, that was when I love the show right now for season 4. I love what's happening right now. In my opinion, I like the arcs they're doing. But I mean, you cannot beat that original first 2 seasons of the show before it. I mean, in my opinion, the show, it feels different when they brought it back for season 3 and now season 4, but it's not to the point where it doesn't feel like Young Justice, but it had a special quality because the characters they were covering, now that we're covering other characters, it has a different tone and a vibe. But you can't beat that original 2 seasons. It's so good. I need to rewatch the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, it holds up really good. I mean, I would say that I'm liking season 4 so much so far, but but it's also because I think the show worked at its best when they really followed them as teenagers. I think that some of them, some of the time jump may have been a little too much. I think instead of doing 5 years, maybe they should do like 1 year or something. But maybe I think this is a theory. I think the reason the showrunners did that, I think at the back of their mind, I think they knew that Cartoon Network was going to screw them over. So they were like, we want to tell the story that we can with these characters in different times of their lives. So,
Yeah.
but so maybe now like it's a bit of their undoing. I think that's why that they have been they've been very vague about how much we've jumped ahead now. But I still love Young Justice. I'm glad it's back. I think I think season 3 was also I think they had to I think they were testing the waters a little bit. I think they took some of the feedback. Again, it wasn't a bad season, but it was just a little too different. So
they introduced a lot of characters, and it was the show coming back after being gone for so many years.
Yeah.
And the fact that they scaled it down to arcs in terms of focusing on one particular character, of course with others, but like this character has their own particular story we're following for a couple episodes. Then we switch over to somewhere else. That was a smart choice. And real quick, Amazing Wimphead, good stuff. Good stuff.
For now it's 29 likes. So
guys, let's get to 40 likes. 40 likes on the live stream. We are getting close to the goal. We're going to have goals like this each week to try to get up there, to get the stream out there for people to see and to notice. Of course, people need to check out the podcast, all that kind of stuff. So 40 likes, please, if we can get there, that'd be great, guys. It'd be awesome. Let's see. Some sources claim Tiffany Fox would be back role on the show. I don't believe anything until there's a.
I'm playing every Gotham Knight on the show. There we go.
I'm not surprised. Makes sense. Do you think we'll see Roy Harper and Titans, Andy?
Probably.
They keep hinting at him, right?
Yeah, and now they've lost a few cast members now, so they could probably bring him, like maybe not as a series, maybe they bring him as a regular, but I think I think there's no reason why they couldn't use. I think it's just about like find the right story, but I think they're getting there. I think each season they've been getting closer and closer and closer. So now,
people have already been seeing Bizarro World.
What else? I wonder what else it could be. Like if it's not Bizarro World, but I think it's the reason. Just the mere fact that Christy talked about Bizarro World as if like people weren't like it wasn't. It didn't sound like it was. How do I say that? It didn't sound like it was like a bunch of bizarres going around, like not being able to talk properly or whatever and so on. So it sounds like it's like a combination of like almost like the Mirrorverse from the Flash, or this other world that Christy saw is maybe just like this is maybe how to reintroduce the multiverse to the rest of the characters, knowing that it's like it's out there. But like, I haven't really been feeling season 2 that much, to be honest. Like I feel like the Cole thing really sets me off. I think this week they did get further. They're starting to make sense of it a little more and so on. But there was just so much drama, so much fighting.
Well, I was all invested with the whole Kyle thing because I'm like, this guy's an ass.
Yeah, I mean, he and General Lane need to go.
Oh, I like General Lane, honestly. But
really, you think it's healthy that he's telling his 2 grandsons that are still growing, he's supposed to be a good role model and be like, hey, y'all, you should just lie to your parents. Like, let me, this 60-year-old human, train you.
I was about to say, I don't like the fact that he's hiding their training behind the kids, but my thing is that I feel like the episode with Lucy and everything, and him having a discussion with Lois about that whole situation, I feel like was very, um, was very. I think it was important because he didn't want to pick sides all this time, and I feel like it was good. Now, like I said, I get why he's training Jordan because he wants Jordan to be the best he can be, but also they don't need to be hiding it. That's the one thing I don't like about it. But that's General Lane for you. He's always been that kind of guy. He doesn't always tell everybody the whole truth because that's what he did all his life as his job. So I get it. Sam training Jordan. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't because he's grandpa.
because he picked up a dummy for how to train Kryptonians, and now he knows everything.
I wrote
Like,
I wrote the book. Why are you making fun of it?
well, I mean, then you should have written a better book and said, hey, if you're a human being, don't train your damn Kryptonians because there's no guideline how to train Kryptonians. Yeah, for me, like him being like, yeah, do setups and boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great.
You know
Like I'd rather watch Diggle train them.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go over to Just As You.
But yeah,
Imagine.
why is Sam training Jordan? That is the best question ever. Like I don't even know either. Like for me, I just like, and then Jonathan's whole like ex-kryptonite drug story. I'm like, I didn't ask for this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. The fights were great though. The like between Bizarre and
oh,
thank
you, Fake Jake.
Final super of the night. Well, thank you, Fake Jake. Both of you, please pick your favorite suit for these Arrowverse characters: Green Arrow, Black Canary, Flash, Reverse Flash, Kara, and Clark. Well, Clark is obviously the current suit.
Mm-hmm.
Kara, I know why Melissa wanted to change it. I think I do prefer the traditional one. Like if they had still been filming in LA, it would have been like they would never have changed it. I think it's because now like their suits look so damn identical. But do you agree that you prefer the original Supergirl suit?
I'm kind of torn on both in terms of which one I like more. I think I'll go traditional just because of the iconic look it was, but I really was waiting for them to change that suit. I was campaigning for the suit to be changed, but that's just me. But I will agree, the classic look from the first 4 seasons, I think overall I would prefer in terms of like overall, but I'm glad they finally gave her a change. Reverse Flash, I'm sticking with his original suit. The new suit, I get why they did it, but I prefer the old one.
I like the new one because I never liked the new 52 Daniel West suit that they basically based it on, where like because basically the yellow was like it was just like a part of it, and then the rest of it was black. Like I like that it is completely yellow with red boots, and I mean the Flash, the season 8 suit with gold boots. Everything. This is like, don't change a single thing anymore. It is perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with that.
Which Black Canary are we talking about? Should we just say? I mean, Dinah only had one.
Yeah, I'm saying personally for me, even though I think the original Black Canary suit from Earth One Laurel, I get it. It's too many buckles, Buckle City, what people called it. It's too many buckles, but I prefer the season 8 suit. I like that suit a lot. I think it's really cool. It's a nice design. It's kind of reminiscent of the original suit, but also it has more of like some comic stuff in the mix. But they try to make it. Yeah.
I will say a tie though with I will say that even though I know it was a Black Siren suit, I think the Black Siren suit is maybe as close to Black Canary as we could get from the comic, but because she's had like long coats and so on, and like there were fishnets and so on, and like at least with the arms. So like it's a tie for me between the season 8 suit and the Black Siren suit.
Yeah, I think for Green Arrow for me, I prefer. I originally would have said the season 4 suit, even though season 4 is garbage. Just because of how it looked, and then
I need to look. I've kind of forgotten what his suit looked like.
I personally like I personally picked the season 8 suit. I like the fact that it's a throwback to season 1. It's got like an Arrow logo in it. I personally like that one.
Let me look. Yeah, it's a tie for me with season 4 and the season 8 suit. I think the season 8 suit, I feel like it's like it honors all the suits, which I don't know if that was like intentional or not, but like I enjoy, but also like because I was there at that panel at Comic Con when he came out in a season 4 suit, and me and like the guys I was sitting with, like we all lost our crap, like. Like it's the joke I said was to someone I was like, that's probably like one of the few times in life where I like became like the straightest version of myself ever. Like I like my voice became like it went super deep, like yeah, fuck yeah. Like I was ready to like crush beer balls or whatever. And so on afterward, like that was how thrilled I was, and then the season sucked. Probably season 8, honestly. But that's a good question. That's definitely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Do you think we'll see Superman and Naomi? I mean, did they already hint that Superman's in Naomi? Apparently, from what I'm understanding. Yeah, but it's just not Tyler.
Could be.
Could be. I mean, is Naomi confirmed to be on an Earth at this point or no?
So okay, so quickly, she's on another Earth, but she originally comes from Earth 29 because there's a character like their character's hunting her and said like I'm taking you back to Earth 29, and so they're already they're going to the multiverse. I mean, I wish more people would be watching the show and pay attention to like there is cool comic stuff happening, but I mean, I think there's a number of reasons why people are not checking it out, both for very, very wrong reasons and offensive reasons, and some maybe valid reasons. If that's not the type of story you'd like, that's fine. But it's like I think that if this show had been instantly set in the Arrowverse, people would be like, yeah, now I give a crap. But I will say this though: when we did see Superman like as close as we did, the suit looks very resembling of Tyler's current suit. And that's all I will say about that.
Now, I didn't know about the stunt double. The thing is, that's never going to happen.
Does he mean like to play Superman as like a character, or just to continue being his stunt double? Because the latter is probably going to happen then.
Well, the guy that played Superman, like the Shadow Superman, he wants to be Superman. I guess on the Peacemaker show, he wants to be Superman. It's not going to look at that. He's not going to happen because he was hired to be a Henry Cavill lookalike in the Shadows. Superman. That's what he was hired to do. He's not going to become Superman on Peacemaker.
Super chat. Thank you, Aiden.
Thank you, Aiden. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Do you want to read this one, or should I?
I like the way in Superman and Lois, Clark and Lois have their own threats, but tight. Yeah, that's why I personally liked, and I wrote this in my review for Mama's Geeky site when I was writing my review. I was thinking about it. It's like in season 1, they had their own threats they were kind of dealing with, and then they intertwined them together. Where Morgan Edge is Kal-El's half brother in season 1, spoiler, and then now in this season they're doing the same thing. I was quite shocked, but at the same time, in my opinion, that's good storytelling because I wasn't expecting it to happen. I didn't think these things were tied together, but they are. But what do you think about the fact they have their own threats and then they bring them together in a sense? Or
yeah, no, I like it. I think that it's because I think for especially for Lois, because the thing is like this show is called Superman Lois. This is just as much of her show as it is Clark's, and I think what's great about that they have like their own storylines, and it makes me a little surprised that Todd Helping wouldn't do this when he was actually on the fly, and he also had another character who was a journalist, but each to your own. But I do like it. I think I would have just found something that just wasn't a cult. Like I would rather have something like I don't know, like on Batwoman they've done like the Black Love Society, they've done the False Face Society, and so on. Like Cole's just like I think, and especially because of the small Allison Mack thing, I think it's just again, and I'm sure that maybe they didn't realize this, again, because again, Ali Allison, she is an established character in the comic. Like they're not. It's not like they're pulling her out of thin air, but I think that there's no reason why they could like. Hopefully, maybe in later episodes, she decides to be like, "Hey, you don't have to call me Ali, just call me like." Like maybe she has like a real name or something. I don't know, but like, I think that what would be. I think it's great that they're finding a way to tie it all together. I will say this though. I think Superman Lois could benefit from doing a graphic novel format like The Flash, because I don't think I need to see the Bizarro World for 15 episodes. Because one of my favorite episodes was last season? It was the flashback episode, like Clark's first day as Superman, like hit the planet zone. It was such a nice break from everything that was going on, and then when he wakes up, he's in literal hell. Wonderful. But it was but yeah, I like that they're trying things together. So, and I mean, I will give Flash credits to that too, and so on. And I think that, but also I think Superman Lois, I think they also have fewer characters to deal with. And again, it's just a different show. So, but I do think Allie will become some type of parasite. I think like maybe more so metaphorically, as opposed to like I don't. If they somehow find a way to,
I mean, well, I mean, the thing is,
you know what's gonna happen if they turn someone into this yellow big, this purple creature. Like this is gonna be me. Absolutely confused.
Okay. I think it's like, the force field they talked about, where the Bizarro and Superman were creating this force field, this like energy wave that was like around them. Because Anderson brought it. I feel like that's probably going to happen to probably both versions of Allie. That's my guess. If they're going to
so you think we're going to see another version of Allie?
I feel like that's what Chrissy was referencing to. You were everywhere, implying that I saw you were there, like another Chrissy.
Then they just found out she just went to the Mirrorverse, and he was like, "You want to be cloned? I can take care of you."
This is a good point, Jordan, about how that people complain that they focus on Lois. I mean, it's Superman and Lois, exactly. If people have a problem with it, then don't watch it, or watch clips online of Superman.
Get out of your mama's basement and get a life.
I
mean, was that so like with like the white face, the black eyes, and so on? Like that would be probably easier to do, and
yeah, probably
again because a purple giant creature running around Smallville, like.
Guys, we're gonna be wrapping it down in a few minutes. 40 likes. Can we get to 40 likes before we end? Yeah. We're at 32 right now. Can we do it?
No, we're 33.
Well, for season it's 32. It might have.
I mean, I can refresh. 32. Okay. Let's make it happen, guys. I guess we could say for next week, though, maybe so people know. There won't be a show next Friday because I'm going to be busy with something. So are we looking at maybe doing something Saturday, or are we saving something for
Possibly. We'll figure it out. Our schedules and everything, but
I'm glad we at least were able to do 5 episodes like in a row. I think that's great. And it's been so much. It's been great to see you guys coming. And I think this new time, so I think this will be better. And so
I think this time we'll see. We're testing all this stuff out, guys. Like it's a learning process. We're learning as we're going. Thank you so much for enjoying that Josh Refine review. It was really cool to talk to him. Brainiac, I don't know if they'll do that. I feel like if they're going to
see Brainiac one day.
Oh yeah,
but I don't know if it's gonna be a big bad for a whole season or if it's gonna be as a crossover. But I do think we're gonna see Brainiac. If I was God helping, I would say bring in the version from Krypton, and also because honestly, it is so easy for them to find a reason to have from coming from one Earth to another, and that design is also like so damn cool. And I don't know if it'll be expensive, but I mean they still have the suit somewhere at the Warner Brothers like archive or something, and maybe they get a different actor and so on. But also I don't know why that actor wouldn't want to show up and continue that playing that character because it's getting too near to each other.
I don't know if that would occur.
Wait, what are we talking? Wait, what do we mean? Like,
okay, so you know how when they were getting close to each other, that force field we were talking about, I think they're implying that maybe that could cause Earth Prime and Bizarre World to like clash or something could happen if they merged. Because people were pointing out too, it looked like at one point Bizarro was going to try to merge with Clark.
That's what I thought. I didn't think of it as much of them like one Earth crashing with another like parallel universe or something. I thought it was like, oh no, Clark is gonna get stuck in this body, or they're gonna swap minds, and like Bizarro Superman will be like, Lois, give me muffins. That was so cute. He's like, no, it's not for you. He's like,
Yes, please keep us updated on your surgery.
yes.
Please, and hopefully everything goes well. Let us know as soon as you can how it went.
Who do you think the villain that was teased in the start? No idea.
Starfire. What they're doing Superman Lois is what they should do with Barry and Iris. Connect the threads Iris is dealing with. Well, I like not every show has to copy what Superman and Lois is doing in terms of their structure. I'll say this. I think in Armageddon, they definitely did a better job with the Iris
Yeah.
stuff in terms of the paper and how it's kind of grown. And there's a
She has,
pod.
she has I cried as someone doing the flashback, and I'm almost hoping that they were inspired by the Flash pocket somehow, and to make it like Citizentopia. And like the only thing, because I started binging season 6 last week, and I finished season 7 yesterday, and today I'm on Armageddon, and like the only thing I had like a minor nitpick on was like, Kristen, can you just angle yourself a little bit? Like I'm like, just like it's perfectly fine, but it will like that's a little different, because if I just move it like this, like, then I'm completely gone. But like if it's just right here,
Mhm.
like because this is the center of it, then I think that would be great. I like this question. I like from Victor. Will we get a red and blue Superman?
I feel that's too out there for the show. But then again, the show has surprised a lot of people, and they've thrown twist in, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't
I'm sorry.
think they would. It's okay. I don't think they would.
I think that could be a good moniker for Jordan and Jonathan. Like if there's a point where they both have powers, I think that could be cool.
Like, so one is red and one. Well, they also have Jonathan keep referencing Jordan to Superboy. They keep saying that. They keep throwing that word in there, that name.
Or maybe they just split Jonathan into two and they didn't get it. No, please don't do that. I don't need. What are you recommending me to me? What are you recommending me? I will go and let's
show
a million of things.
Yeah,
brother, I have too many shows to watch anyway. I don't have the time. Maybe like I'm gonna try to start with one of the shows. Whatever show wins in the poll that I put up a couple of days ago, like that's the one I'm gonna start with. And
he has a Twitter poll up.
Yeah, I'll post a link in the chat. We're at 35 likes now, so let's get there. I know we can get there. So hit it with some last minute questions before we wrap up, and then
can we get there, guys? We're almost there. We got this. I think this might bring the chat up a little bit. I feel like the chat's gonna appreciate this, because I feel like the chat would understand this has to be said.
Metas killed your parents, Gracie. They all deserve to die.
Don't believe him, Grace.
Don't believe him, Grace.
To add context, he called me today, tell me, can you get on StreamYard right now? I'm like, yeah, okay. So I jump on StreamYard. He's like, I gotta show you something. I'm like, okay. And then the clip plays, and I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious. So like,
fake chick knew it.
And then like again, he wouldn't, because last week he called, like he texted me in the middle of the night for whatever reason, and was like, so I'm gonna do this thing. I'm not gonna tell you, I'm gonna surprise you, but it's gonna be a fun thing I think that people will love. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then he's like, come on streamer today. I'm like, okay, I will show up. And he played. I'm like, of course he pulled that. I didn't expect the content one. That one I do appreciate, because, and now I kind of just want to go and watch that episode again, because that's like the only rewatchable
You don't
episode.
appreciate the other clips? You don't appreciate the other clips?
No, I mean, of course, because I suggest the Barry one,
the run or the smile.
The smile.
I think so. I made a point to have it crop in, so that, because I didn't realize as I was cutting the clip, and I'll show it here as a reference. Look at the very last second when it zooms in. Look at Barry's face. He stares at you, and then I'll talk about what happened. I did not realize he looked into your soul. So when I pulled the clip, like, I have to zoom in and cut it right because see, he actually looks back at Caitlin before it cuts to her. But so I cut it before his eyes move back, because I want it to be where he's staring into your soul. So
it's one of my favorite episodes of that season. Like it's we are getting a final Morbius trailer on Monday.
We're getting a Morbius trailer.
I'm excited to see what they're doing with this universe.
I'm happy that some studios tell us ahead of time, because I like knowing ahead of time when trailers are coming. I hate when they drop it out of nowhere. It's frustrating. I want to know ahead of time. There's actually one clip I haven't played yet. There's actually one clip I haven't played yet.
But do we have to get a certain reaction in order for you to play it?
There's a certain context to it. That's the only reason why it's not been played.
Well, give me a hint. Let me see if I can get to it.
Okay, let's see.
And hit the like button. We're so close now.
Okay. I I don't. I see. The unfortunate part is there is no context that I can give without it being weird. The context would be something like where if the stream's going crazy, the chat's going crazy, and then I would play the clip, because that's basically, like,
Okay, chat. I need you guys to type whatever thought comes to you.
chat start chat, act like we're not here. Act like we're not here. I start typing in some really weird shit, and then I'll play the clip, and then we'll leave. Oh my gosh, we just need some weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
What is weird with guys of Monday? So crazy. Thank you. So
it can't be another Gracie clip.
Arrow season 4. No, it's not a Gracie clip. So essentially, like, if we were gone and we came back to the chat going crazy, Grandma loves metal. Yeah. So if we like left the chat and we came back and we saw the craziness, this is what we would have to play.
I leave Central City for 2 seconds.
It's such a stupid clip, but I wanted to have it because I'm like, if there's ever a chance where something stupid's going on,
I leave Central City for 2 seconds.
like, we can't leave you guys alone.
For people who really, what is hard to watch? All those CW cringe scenes put together, or that guy from Cage Shell. I don't know what the latter is, but we did watch. I think we on one stream we did actually go through that thread, and oh my god, that's like Gorilla Grodd going after Barack Obama. It's just like
it's stupid.
5 more likes, guys. Come on, and then last minute. Let's do 8 more minutes. Let's cap it up at a that is true. Fake Jake. He does retire for 5 minutes, and everything goes to crap.
That's true. That is true.
Also bad for Hawkeye. He's just trying to live his best life or whatever, and I do not understand.
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
I'm just like trying to see here.
I'm gonna watch Moon Knight.
Of course, who wouldn't? That was nuts. You do like to party.
Wait, that was did you like the party? Oh wait, is that what Rainbow Raiders said? I should have remembered this because I wasn't. I think I was so excited to get to the Godspeed episodes that I'm like, I didn't focus too much. I mean, the 6 clip also just made me cry again because 36 guys, great, awesome guys. But yeah, next week I hope there will be more things to talk about next week if there's a show on Saturday or whatever we end up doing. So, but I hope everyone is going to go see the Batman and do it safely, and because on Monday, or Tuesday, whatever, it feels like those last few days before a film comes out, that's like when it's like most dangerous to be on Twitter. This is like, I don't understand why people have such an issue with the lightsaber fight. But like, I thought it was fun.
It was fun. It was different. I remember when me and the Ghosts were reacting to that fight because it was like, first of all, the way they revealed Reverse Flash just didn't make a lot of sense. They should have actually shown him before they showed like his name popping up, and then he's there. They should have showed him first. But the lightning fight was just so bizarre. But I understand why they did, because we've done so many speedster fights on the Flash. Like, they had to do something different.
Yeah, I think that was an editing mistake. I think that sounds way too sexual than it needs to be. So I'm not gonna say You know what's so yeah, okay, I will say with you, lightning sword. Oh, lightning sword. Okay, fine, I said it wrong. Whatever. Where was I going with it? You know what's so funny with that green screen clip is that people are using that like when that clip resurfaced, which again I'm not understanding. Like, what do you think? What do you think was the situation? People were that the casino was hiding it. Like it was literally on the blooper reel, but
Mhm.
like people are using it. It's like oh look, oh my god, look how crappy this show looks, guys. People can't run super fast. There is no speed force in real life. Of course, they're running on a treadmill on the green screen, and then they put in the effects. What do you expect it to look like? I just
It was just ridiculous. But the thing is, I was. It took me a while to find that clip in the quality that it is in because like that all the clips I pulled is from Netflix for the clips I've played. That's the only one that's not it's not readily available.
oh, congrats, you defeated me, Hero's Journey. Hello, Jordan, Kent. Your name is Jordan too.
Yeah, it's
Change
totally,
it. No, you gotta go change. You have to actually be named Chainsaw
yeah,
legally.
that makes sense.
Flash Wars, the last speedster.
That's basically what it could end up being if they keep adding speedsters, especially if like some cute people are coming back that
People also really want Red Death, which I think I
why not? I mean, I get it why they probably wouldn't do it, but I'd prefer it.
I think like seeing all that suit in live action would be kind of cool.
It would be cool. I would like to see how they would interpret it because it definitely
Well, my idea is that they should bring in.
it could look cheesy.
Well, I think that what the thing they should do, like, if they did it from like who should be Red Death, I think bring in Warren Christie as a Bruce from another Earth who is going around trying to absorb Barry Allen's to become like like cause he basically the only reason that that Red Death isn't like a full on villain is because he's trying to be like the best hero they can be, but he's willing to kill, as in Red Death. So I think and also I think it would be fun to see Warren Christie because obviously he knows how to play a villain when he was Hush looking like Bruce Wayne. I mean, sure. I mean, sure. We can like whatever. I mean,
Fight at 40 likes now.
yeah, so I kill Jordan with a or I kill him with a sword and then he gets a magic tea to come back from the dead.
You kill me like this. That's how you kill me.
Fine, whatever. I didn't watch Battlestar Galactica, Kazi, and neither one of them.
I've seen a couple episodes of Battlestar. I didn't continue. It was a long time ago.
Aren't they rebooting that? Aren't they bringing it back somehow?
Yeah, it's been in discussion for a long time. I'm not sure if they are. Last question. We're gonna answer. We're gonna wind down. There's reports that all speedster villains will return to form the Legion of Zoom. I don't know about the Legion of Zoom, but
well, that's what it's called in the comic.
Oh, Legion of Zoom. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's been a while.
Yeah, Joshua Wilson, he wrote an arc. We actually, it's funny that because we did an episode this week on Flashback. We talked about like remaining storylines we want to see Cleobard before the show ends, and Legion of Zoom did come up, but these reports, I don't until actual official websites are reporting it, then take what you see with a grain of salt.
Exactly, but hopefully we'll see something like that. It'd be really cool. I mean, it'd be intense as hell. But we want to thank everybody for being here, for being a part of the stream, and supporting, of course, Endless Multiverse. We if we have a show next week, we'll let you guys know on what day and what time. But hopefully we'll get some stuff next week in terms of news if we do a show. But there's stuff coming. The Batman's finally coming out. We're getting a Morbius trailer. Other than that, I'm not really sure what else is coming out in terms of stuff. But we're hoping, because this week was kind of slow, so we're hoping that stuff will start picking up. So we'll see. Any final thoughts, sir?
No, just to thank everyone for watching and for all the questions, the super chats. Don't forget to subscribe, and you can, if you want to go rewatch all episodes. We're not putting the playlist in each video description, so you can go catch it up. And all all of our social media links are in the show notes too. And yeah, like Jordan said, Friday there won't be a show because I'm the one who's a bit unavailable. But we will, the weekend is, if we do anything, it will probably be in the weekend. And if not in the weekend, we will be back the next Friday. So I great Gracie gave me some milk. Wait, that wasn't an actual dialogue in the show?
I don't know.
Like, like, I could see like being like their like domestic life, like Gracie, come give Uncle Orlando some milk or something. But yeah, no, Jake, have a safe recovery, and let us know what happens.
Please let us know how you are recovering, sir. And as we always do, we always yell at Gracie before we end. But I think we should end with playing this clip, and we will say our goodbyes because we actually have the myth, the man, the myth, the legend here giving the iconic line. So let's play this out.
Metas killed your parents, Gracie. They all deserve to die.
Don't believe him, Grace.
Do not believe him, Grace.
It's the final scene at the end. They're just
it's the die. It's the die. So thank you guys so much for being here. Hope your guys are being safe, doing well, and we will see you guys next time.